Now let's get to today's feature segment. Ivan Feinseth's with us, Chief Investment Officer at Tigris Financial Partners. It's great to see you.
Thank you.
So we have so much to discuss. I mean, Boeing is something that has been on your radar for some time. What are your immediate thoughts? I mean, Boeing basically saying that they're not flying anytime soon. UAL saying they're not flying in the summertime. That's what the president said today, which spooked the markets, and the stock's moving to 52-week lows.
It's disappointing. I thought that the situation would be fixed a lot sooner. I mean, they came out yesterday saying now, mid-year, which is just another 3 months. However, it's better to be safe than sorry. I think in December, when Boeing said they're halting production in January, I think it indicated this is more than just a Boeing problem. It is a global problem in the sense that
Would you buy it on this dip?
Absolutely. Oh, I always say you want to buy good companies when they're going through a bad time, and that's definitely the situation here, because the plane will be back in the air, and when it does, the stock will recover and can make new highs.
Jeff just made the point that Boeing is now at the lowest level since 2018 and broke through some key support levels. But your point is that it's a great American company. But there are other companies out there who are now really talking about the fact that Airbus has better products. And I mean, people are really piling on lately.
I don't really think that's the case. I think it's disappointing that we've had this situation with the MAX. And it has also cost consumers a lot. The loss of capacity has caused a big increase in ticket prices. Luckily, the economy's been so strong and the consumer is willing to spend on travel that it really hasn't hurt the airlines that much.
What about GDP?
But like Mnuchin said, he was looking. So yesterday he said that growth is going to surprise to the upside. And he actually said the Boeing coming back into service, and then later on yesterday, Boeing said we're going to have a delay, and now he says it could cost 50 basis points, which is a significant amount. But it illustrates the fact that Boeing has a huge network. This whole concept of stakeholders, Boeing has a huge network of suppliers who have a lot of employees. It impacts so many things, not only the travel industry, but all the workers who work for the suppliers to Boeing. It's important, I think, that the FAA really should be proactively trying to work with Boeing to get this plane back into service. And
what about your overall market view? You still feeling
very bullish
these days?
Absolutely.
Why?
We still have a positive fundamental narrative. We got the trade deal. We got the momentum from the tax cut in 2018, which caused the boom in 2019. We have now the momentum from trade. We still have the diminished concerns over slowing global growth, which hasn't happened. The recession in the U.S. that everybody was fearful of hasn't happened. So we have record employment, which is also driving record consumer spending. So to me, the underlying fundamentals are still positive, and we're going to see higher highs in the market throughout the year.
Tell me about, without putting political views, but more about my money. And what I really need to know is you don't want a lot of volatility when you see what's going on with the president and impeachment, and people worry about what will happen with the market. What is your crystal ball on this one?
Well, the impeachment has been totally ignored by the market because Trump will be acquitted by the Senate. So
is that sooner than later?
They say by next week. I mean, the trial started yesterday, and for the most part is expected to last till the end of next week with acquittal by the Republican-dominated Senate.
And then what about the virus? I mean, that we saw a knee-jerk reaction where we saw selling off in Asia yesterday, but today we saw some of those indices moving up 3%.
Yes, I mean, you have always panic selling on headlines, negative headlines. The fact that they are trying to contain it caused a rebound. It's hard to say, but we saw the trend a few years ago with SARS. It was,
so you're not that worried. It's a temporary thing. What about Garmin? This is a stock that you love to follow. It's at a 12-year high.
And I think it's got more to go. They just started 2020 with a number of new products. They ended 2019 with one of the most revolutionary products, which is an emergency landing system called Autoland. If a pilot stops interacting with the plane or one of the passengers presses the emergency land button, the plane will automatically seek out the closest airport and autonomously land the plane, bringing it to a complete stop on the runway. So
that's amazing.
That it is incredible.
So you love this one, and I know you mentioned it's going into the Mustang, the electric
Yes, they just announced a OEM relationship with Ford to supply infotainment components for the new Mustang EV crossover vehicle. So I believe that will expand and go into more Ford vehicles. This follows last year's announcement with BMW. So they have relationships with over 20 auto manufacturers, and I think that will continue to deepen.
And Netflix says they're ready to compete. I mean, I know that there were some concerns about subscriber growth going forward and some of that guidance, but Netflix seems very ready to compete. And I was looking at some of the analyst calls, and it seems to be somewhat of a mixed bag. Some were more optimistic than others. But
I'm a fan of the service, not a fan
Netflix,
of the.
Right?
No, I'm a fan of the service, not a fan of the stock.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I waited for 2 years for The Irishman to come out. It was a great movie. So far, The Witcher is their best series ever.
Yes.
They have a lot of great content. However, for the first time, we have a lot of new competitors. Disney Plus is phenomenal. I mean, The Mandalorian alone is causing a huge amount of subscriptions for Disney Plus. Another great show on Disney Plus is The World According to Jeff Goldblum. A very educational and entertaining show. And now we have 2 more services. So we also have Apple TV.
So wait, are you saying to sell the stock if you own it?
Yes. I think take profits. Yes. Take profits on Netflix and buy Disney.
Oh, okay. So you like Disney?
Yes.
Okay. So your picks really would probably be Disney, Garmin, and Boeing on the dip.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really interesting. All right, well, we'll continue to follow what happens. It's great to see you. Ivan Feinseth, Chief Investment Officer of Tigris Financial Partners. Thanks for joining us on the show.